I met a gypsy.
Where do you rate Jett's perfect season?
I mean, it's a perfect season. I mean, he was the best guy every time the gate dropped. I think what we're seeing in Supercross right now, and I know it's early, we've had 2 mud races, and we're seeing the emotion from Jett and Anderson, that debacle that they had after the race and all of that. That's the young in him, that's the inconsistency right now. I think, and also Supercross,
It's
only
so
one
different,
gate drop, your nerves are so much higher. I know for a fact my nerves were double what they were going into Supercross,
Really?
any race than outdoors.
What
Because you have
thought
such a
about that?
huge starting line. The odds from a first turn pileup are a lot less a lot of times. You have 30 minutes to correct a mistake. Yes, is it action packed the first lap? Are we going balls to the walls, sprint mode? Yes, but it's, there's a lot more room for error.
And you can breathe in a sense.
There's a lot more room for error on the track, I mean, you got 30 feet to move around sometimes, not 12. So yeah, I was way more nervous going into Supercross, than any of the Supercrosses than going to race outdoors. Outdoors was easy, on your head, on the mental aspect for me.
Did the crowd play into it at all? Or that stuff you just kind of get used to?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you walk down into the stadium floor, you're like, okay, yeah, it's go time, where outdoors you have that, but you don't have that. It's not the same.
Yeah.
Everything about the outdoors to me is, yes, it's hard, it's grueling, it's tough, but from me mentally, my mental aspect of it, like what, thinking about it, for me, it was just easier. And I don't know if it's because it didn't come easier, really. I had to train to be fit outdoors and suffer and all that to be good. But I think it's just different. I was always way more nervous going into Supercross, any of them.
Yeah. No, it does make sense. And so
I think we'll see.
Yeah.
You're not going to see, 17 and 0 or 20 and 0, whatever. You're not going to see that. We already know that. That's out of the picture now already. And then 17 rounds of Supercross. I know we have 11. It's only 11 outdoors now. 17's a big difference. So it's going to be interesting. I think Jett's still going to potentially, if not win the championship, because I think he's really, really good. But I think we're going to see chinks in his armor, emotional chinks like we saw this weekend.
Yeah.
That he will ultimately fix, right? He's young.
Yeah.
He's young being in a position right now that no 20-year-old has ever been in.
Man, think about, let's just lay it out.
He's got there's a lot of moving parts there.
That's going to be a hard thing to balance too, right? And this is the argument. So we spent an hour before talking about grow the sport, make this better, be this guy, be the personality. They got a fan zone, which is unreal. They've executed it amazing. The interviews, everything that they're doing it right, but it does come at a cost, and it's how do you balance that cost? How do you, there's what you said about maximizing talent. That's a good way to look at even maximizing your potential as a superstar. Because you could float, Jett Lawrence could float through his career and be do what you did. Not really talk that much, don't really show personality, don't really engage it, just fly to the race, do the shit, leave. And you can sit here and go, well, I probably didn't maximize my time in the sport in that sense. Again, different eras, different platforms available, so things are different. But you've got a kid that has the potential to be a fucking megastar, a global star everywhere, and make millions and millions of dollars, be set up for life, careers post, there is so much to play for. But you also have to do all of the work to win the races and to be that guy. And it also comes at a cost of the more you win, the more people want to see you lose.
Mm-hmm.
And then that becomes another mental challenge that takes real maturity. So if anyone thinks he's got it easy in these next few years, like he really doesn't have it easy.
No, I don't think he's got it easy. I think he's got a good group around him though, that especially with Dazzy, you know, keeping him grounded, and
his brother,
really, and Hunter, and being able to, you know, really get on his ass when need be,
when that's required,
when it's required. Yeah, it's just like, you know, we'll use San Diego as an example. Like,
what happened at San Diego?
Yeah, right. When, you know, Jett pulls over, wants to talk to Jason. Okay, totally fine. And this is where, you know, maybe the emotions got a little, got a hold of him, but ultimately Jason rode a wide bike. Yeah, did he?
Did you watch it?
I
Were
watched
you watching
it. Yeah,
that
I watched
battle?
all of it.
It was
yeah,
fucking hilarious, bro.
Tough conditions, number one.
Yeah,
one line already. Track's only about 4 feet wide in good spots. And
zero traction.
And the other thing I saw, zero traction. Get out of the main line, you're screwed. In my opinion, Jett gave up all of his passing points right. You know, every time he was trying to pass Jason everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
If there was an open hole, he was going, and then Jason would shut him off, and then he'd
he
try again and shut him off.
Wheeled after the finish line too, where he eventually did get the pass done.
Yep, and he'd expose himself, and then Jason would shut him down. He exposed himself, and Jason would shut him down. So they went around for 3 or 4 laps doing that. You know, and then they have some words afterwards, and I thought it was, look, I like the emotion involved. I think it's good for our sport. You know, no, I don't want to see punches thrown in a scenario like that, because that's this isn't UFC. It is. We want to keep it professional, and we want to grow the sport. But having those raw emotions like that, I think, are good, as long as media and we don't spin it to be a negative.
Yes,
we spin it to be a positive. You know, this is what's on the line. These are the emotions involved. This is how big this series is in racing, and
this is the money that's on the line.
This is the money that's on the line. You know, as long as we spin that all into a positive and we don't spin it into a negative, I think it's good for the sport. And look, Jason, you got a 21-year-old, 20-year-old, and a 30-year-old
dad.
You know, a dad. You know, you watch. And Jason tried to pull away. You know, he did. It looked like to me he was pulling away, and Jett grabbed him on his chin. He grabbed him on the helmet, and you know, you see Jett grab him, and it was, you know, hey, don't leave. And then you got Anderson grab a hold of him and really,
I'm not done with you, bro.
Really give him a good little shake. And you know, I like to see all that stuff. I think that's personality in our sport. I think it's good as long as it's spun the right way. And Jett's gonna make those little mistakes, and I already know that, you know, they've told him what he did wrong, and it's how he's going to deal with that on the backside. I think that he's no dummy, and I think that he, all those, you know, he'll fix the little mistakes. It's just like racing. He's learning every time he's out on the track. He's, like you said, this is first time being at this the best in the world, at the trajectory that he's on. These are all kind of new, uncharted territories for him right now at 20 years old. So you're going to have mistakes from the kid.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think my take on it as well, like I agree with everything that you said. And that's why it's important to have people like you with a microphone every single week talking about this shit, because you know. And I think the one thing I would add, don't really like the fine. Actually, I'll rephrase that. I do like the fine because it goes to the Alpine Stars medical unit. Yeah. So actually pay the fine.
For which one? Both or
of them.
Both?
Well, yeah, both of them. Fuck it. It's only $1,000. Give it to Alpine Stars.
Yeah,
I mean, like that.
I looked at it and I said, well, I think I said this either on the show or before the show, Title 24 show, yesterday on Monday. I was like, I don't think they should have fined Jason. If Jett wouldn't have called him over there, he would have rode past him and there would have been nothing. Jett's the one that touched him first. Yeah. And come on, really, $1,000? If you wanted to fucking sting, make it 10 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, for that little incident. And that little, can you imagine what a big incident would be? And that's how I think you keep the riffraff, also keep it in check. $1,000.
But you're just the AMA shill because they kept fining Lawrence. And you were cool with it, so you're coming at this from the wrong angle, bro. My thing I will add on it, and this is why I wouldn't like a massive fine on something like that, because if riders that helmet shake and that that's very PG,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Totally.
So, and if you discourage guys, and so they come off the track and they dealt with it when the emotions were hot and it was raw, they got in each other's face, no harm was done, it was very PG. And now I don't think we see that boil over in practice 1 or practice 2 or heat race 1 or main event. And I don't think that you see it go down that road. And if you take away a rider's ability to express that frustration and express that anger, then I think what you will see is it come out somewhere. And when you're on a motorcycle, dudes can get fucked up. Even the best guys in the world can make a mistake. Someone can get a concussion. Someone can tweak a shoulder. Like just these little dumb things that could actually really negatively impact a rider. Grabbing someone's chin bar, giving them a little shake is actually not going to hurt anybody. And it probably dissipates that energy to the point where we don't really see it spill over. So that's the only thing where I'm like, I'm cool with it. And get off, give each other a push, a shove, like, and deal with it, and it'd be done. Dude, I've had times where I've been punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
Square in the face. And I stood there and went, fuck, because I deserved it. I had a specific example with a dude that just literally, I was talking shit and he elbowed me in the face. And I was like, fuck, all right. And I was a kid. Like I was a young, like 15, 16-year-old kid. This was like a grown-ass man. And
Really?
oh yeah, dude. And I was like, I went to the toilet. My nose was fucking gushing blood. And I'm like, oh, shit. Well, stayed in the toilet in the cubicle with tears in my eyes until my nose stopped bleeding. Went back out, kept watching the game. But it's like, I thought of that. I was like, that was a good learning experience for me. You know, I was like, talk shit, get hit. And I think you've got this young calf that's coming up and everyone knows like he's going to be the man at some point. You know, it's arguably like he is the man in a sense.
Oh yeah, already.
And it's like, but you don't just get a free pass. Jason Anderson's job is to keep you behind him in the main event of the Supercross race.
All of them.
That's literally
now
his
that
job.
whole thing. If he would have been a lapper, 100% agree.
Yeah.
Come over there and give him an earful.
Yeah,
an earful, right? He wasn't. He was a current on lead lap. You couldn't pass him.
Supercross champion.
Yeah, exactly. A
He's
Supercross
won
champ.
this shit before.
Exactly.
So it's like this ain't no scrub that's out there. So yeah, I think it was a good learning experience. I think it couldn't have happened to two better dudes, you know, like. And
I think that, they both can get over. They're both the type that can get over it, you know.
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.